So it's out. My debut single is finally out in the world, and I had planned to take you behind the scenes and vlog the entire production process, but it got a little messy, you could say. So I am going to take you behind the scenes today and show you what happened, but it's less going to be a perfect how-to video and more the story of the doubts and the procrastination and the emotional roller coaster that it was to produce this single. It all started pretty good. I was happy with the choice I made to hire Marvin, who's a producer. I sent him my demo and my reference song and the inspiration, and things were going really well. And then I got the first version back from him. And on first listen, honestly, I got goosebumps. I was really happy with it. There were things that I wanted to change, but the feeling, he really got the feeling of the song. But before sending him my feedback, I wanted to get other people's opinion on it. And so I made the mistake of, well, I don't know if it was a mistake, but I had a few of my friends listen, my husband and my brother-in-law. Their feedback was all over the place. My husband listened to it and he was like, oh, I like this part, but I don't like this part. And then my brother-in-law listened to it and he said the opposite. I didn't know what to say back to Marvin, and I was really doubting myself and the vision I had for this song. I was like, okay, maybe I have to take the advice I got the other day from another producer who was saying, you started this because you had a general idea, you have an artist's vision, and you have to trust it. And actually, that kind of became the theme of this whole project, me doubting myself and then learning to trust myself. It sounds so simple, but it's actually the hardest part. How do you tell the difference between somebody else's genuine feedback that can help you and just their personal taste? That was a question I asked myself so many times during this process. And the thing is that I'm a recovering people pleaser. So having other people tell me, well, this sounds good, but this doesn't. And then the other person saying, this doesn't sound good, but this does. I was like, who am I supposed to please? Who am I supposed to listen to? And obviously the answer is me, because, you know, this is my song. It was really difficult. It was work, but I did it. And after a while, we had the instrumental pretty much finalized, and it was my turn to record vocals. And that's where the fear and the self-doubt really kicked in. If I recorded the vocals, then the song would be done and I'd have to release it. It was the last step before I really had to put myself out there. And I procrastinated like crazy. For about a week, I found every excuse not to record. First, there was construction on my street, so I was like, oh no, this is way too noisy to record. I can't do this. Let's wait until the construction's over. And then I was like, oh, I need to eat better, so I'm gonna meal prep for the rest of the week. So I spent some time stocking my fridge with cut up vegetables. I couldn't possibly record before the fridge was totally stocked, you know? I mean, obviously. And then I had to figure out the technical side of things. So I'm gonna be using a Rode NT1A. I hardly know anything about mics. This is very phallic. Apparently this here is the front with the logo and the little gold thing. And yes, I had to ask ChatGPT because how am I supposed to know? So on a day-to-day basis, I use the Focusrite Scarlett Solo and it's been great. I'm happy with it. But for the purpose of recording really good vocals, I borrowed the RME Fireface 802 sound card that we use in the studio where we practice. I honestly can't hear the difference, so I'm trusting people smarter than me on this one. And plus, since the price difference is so huge, I'm gonna hope that it's warranted and that it's gonna sound awesome. And I'm not a sound engineer, so I was really insecure about recording these vocals in a room that's not treated. I could have gone to a studio, but it would have cost way too much. And I did like the fact that I was recording at home, so it was on my timeline. I could take my time. Too much time maybe, okay. But all this insecurity gave me another way to procrastinate because I figured I had to do some tests, obviously. There's a lot of reverb in here, so I'm not sure what Marvin's going to be able to do with what I'm recording, so I would like to send him some tests before I record the whole song. We're going to try 4 different things. We're going to try with the mic facing down, the mic facing up, and I'm going to build a booth with some clothes racks and maybe a mattress or something, and then we'll do the same 2 mic positions in the booth. And I sent the test back to Marvin, and he said that he preferred the sound with the vocal booth, but that the most important thing was for me to feel comfortable when I was singing. I should pick the one where I would feel most free to perform the vocals well. And that actually helped a lot because I figured performing I know how to do. So then I was ready. I had my setup, I was ready to record, except I wasn't. There used to be 3 verses and no bridge, and now there's 2 verses and a bridge, which is great. I like the structure like this. It's a lot better, but that means I have to rework the lyric. And of course, I've put it off to the last minute. I'm feeling really insecure. I don't really understand why, because generally it's pretty easy for me to write lyrics. They mostly just flow out of me, and when they don't, it's okay. I just set it off to the side and come back to it later. If it takes a couple days, a couple months, it's fine. I just let it take the time that it takes. But today I had planned to record, so I am feeling the pressure, and I am not good under pressure. At least my creativity is not good under pressure. But there's no real deadline. If this recording thing takes 3 weeks, it takes 3 weeks. I should breathe. No pressure. Let me just write some lyrics. So after a pretty long rewriting session, I ended up finally recording these vocals, and I sent them off, and after a while I got the final full mix back. And then something weird happened there, because you know how you're listening to a song on repeat for a while and then it becomes associated with the emotion that you were feeling at that time? Well, that happened with this song. I'd heard this song so many times at this point that it had become associated with the self-doubt and the procrastination and the fear of putting myself out there and making mistakes. So when I heard the final full mix, I just felt scared. I felt so scared. And so I figured, okay, let me just take a step back, take a couple days, don't listen to this song at all, do something else, think about something else. And then I took a deep breath and I remembered the feeling that I had the first time I listened to it, the goosebumps. I decided I was going to go with that. I was going to prime myself before listening to the song with this emotion. And so I did, and it worked. And I wrote my final notes for Marvin, and he sent back the full mix, and there we had it. We had a song. I had lots of other reasons to procrastinate. I had to figure out how to put it on streaming services. I figure out how to market a new metal song as a chubby middle-aged woman. Figure out social media, but those are stories for another day. Right now, I'm just gonna bask in the fact that I did this. I managed to put a song out in the world. I can be proud of myself. And now if you wanna hear this song, it's right here. Or you can just watch another one of my videos. See ya.